A girl named Billy watches the trailer for the new Super Claus movie, in which an ordinary man dressed as Santa Claus turned into a superhero after coming into contact with a leak of radioactive liquid. Thanks to this, the superhero was able to take on Grumpus, his archenemy, who is also the biggest and most powerful villain on the planet. Excited, the young woman celebrates the upcoming movie when she is surprised by a video call from her parents, who are two extremely talented robotic engineers. The couple says that Christmas is right around the corner and they've been inundated with requests from clients across town. So, to prevent the girl from getting bored while at home alone, she can go talk to the family's new neighbor, Alicia. But Billy tells me that most children her age don't like the same things that she likes, which is why she has a hard time socializing with them. However, the couple bids their daughter goodbye and go back to work, and the little girl has a wonderful end-of-year holiday with her little robot friend, who tries to keep her from wrecking the decoration. Shortly after, the two sit down to dinner, and when they've done all their chores, they decide to go out and get a gift for the girl's parents. The elves are very excited about Christmas week far away in the middle of a big gift factory. They are making thousands of gifts to give to all the children in the city. In the meantime, the big Santa Claus is playing with his little figurines in his office when he gets a visit from his little assistant, Leo. Fascinated by the whole Super Claus theme, the man says he'd like to be a hero like him, but the elf thinks it's a terrible idea, saying they already have a very important role to fulfill. Although he knows Leo is right, the old man explains that he still has this dream of possessing the powers of his favorite character. Santa's costume rips at that moment. He makes some sudden moves, and while he's fixing his main costume, he decides to wear the Super Claus costume. Excited by his boss's new idea, Leo reveals that he has a gift for him and shows off a new, modified vehicle, which he has named the Super Claus Super Sleigh. Santa is very happy with this gift and starts to check out the different technological functions his assistant has added to the car. The problem is that the old man has an accident and hits his head, which makes his memory go haywire, and he thinks that he is indeed the great hero Super Claus. For this reason, Santa departs the factory in his high-tech car, thinking he's on a super mission to save Christmas. Billy leaves the movie theater with her robot friend Carl, and they are thrilled that they were able to get tickets for the Super Claus movie for the whole family. The girl is surprised by no other than Alicia, who is out for a walk with her mother at the moment. The young girl is excited to see the new Super Claus movie when Billy tells her he bought tickets for the film, but her family can't afford to take her to the movies this holiday season. Billy feels sorry for Alicia and decides to give her the tickets as a gift, which makes the girl very happy, and she goes away with her mother, excited to see the film she's been wanting to see. Then Billy walks through the square with her robot friend when they see Santa Claus having an accident in an area near them. Concerned, they approach him to find out what happened, and they get even more excited when they realize that the old man is an actor who performs in a Super Claus costume. Billy thinks that it would be a wonderful present for the couple to visit her parents' house, since they are also fans of the franchise. As he is checking the old man for any signs of danger, though, Carl finds that he is actually Santa Claus and attempts to persuade the young woman, but she refuses to believe him. What they didn't realize was that they were being watched by one of Frank's surveillance drones. Frank is a strong businessman in the city and is still getting richer by selling his poor quality toys to children. Upon noticing that a man dressed as Super Claus has just destroyed one of his advertising statues, Frank becomes furious and orders the drone to find him immediately. Billy comes home with the fake superhero, who accidentally drops her watch, and she sees a missed call from Leo minutes later. The elf is desperate to see that his boss is still experiencing memory loss, so he decides to check out what Carl had been saying and claims that this is indeed Santa Claus. Billy realizes that she must help the old man to recover from the blow to his head, so she grabs a frying pan and strikes him with it. But Leo tells her that she doesn't need to do that and asks her to just watch the crazy guy for now. The problem is that when she looks into her living room, the girl notices that Santa Claus has already disappeared, and before she can go looking for him, she's surprised by her parents. As a result, Billy has to stay home for the remainder of the night, leaving Leo frantic at the gift factory, as his boss has gone somewhere in the city and he doesn't know where. The next morning, Billy says goodbye to her parents who are off to another day of work, and without wasting any time, she contacts Leo, telling him she's using the city security system to look for the old man. Meanwhile, Santa Claus roams the city to perform his superhero duties, but despite being very clumsy, he is able to solve some of the city's problems. Meanwhile, at the factory, Leo Leo is working on a plan to get into town to assist the girl in her quest to find Santa Claus, and he receives assistance from Albert, the rookie reindeer on the travel team. After a few hours, Frank arrives at the square where Super Claus destroyed his advertising statue, and knowing how durable the vehicle the old man was using was, he instructs his robots to bring it to his lab. Shortly after, the man runs into Billy, who mocks his arrogant behavior, causing him to try to attack her. However, he is stopped by Carl, who threatens to electrocute him if he gets any closer. The girl doesn't want to fight the villain, so she walks away, and when she hears him speaking to his robots about finding the fake Super Claus, she knows that Santa Claus is in danger. So Billy goes back to look at the security cameras and runs towards the mall, where she finds the old man eating copiously in the food court. The girl rescues Santa Claus from the middle of the crowd and calls Leo to let him know that they have found Santa Claus. However, when she looks around, she sees that the old man is gone. The madman spots one of the Grumpus wearers, the archenemy of Super Claus, and lunges at him, intent on saving the world from its biggest enemy. Desperate, the costumed employee flees to avoid being attacked, and amid the chaos, his mask falls off, causing Santa Claus to realize that he wasn't really his enemy. Soon, a gang of Frank's drones arrives at the mall, and when they discover that he is about to be the city's newest gift giver, the businessman sends his robots to attack the gang and capture Claus in his lair. Meanwhile, Leo arrives with his reindeer, and is very confused when he encounters his boss running with Billy and a squadron of drones. The girl then explains to the old man that the drones are his archenemies, and Claus immediately goes to attack the drones without hesitation. To help him, Billy fights the robots alongside Carl and Albert, while Leo needs to be saved by the girl, since he has no combat skills. Despite the large number of enemies, Billy uses her martial arts skills to defeat several of them, but Frank keeps sending more and more minions, trapping them. He has no real superpowers, so Claus is easily captured by the villain, and before he's taken away, Carl throws the watch at the old man's body so they can track the old man. Billy doesn't delay, but rushes home with the gang, knowing that her parents have a device sophisticated enough to keep track of the watch. The issue is that the couple has already arrived home, and to deceive them, the girl decides to ask Alicia for help, stating that they must put makeup on Leo so that he looks like a normal person. Although she doesn't understand why Billy is with that elf, the young woman agrees to help her and transforms Leo, who manages to enter the family's apartment without arousing suspicion. While the girl distracts her parents along with the elf, Albert waits for the pair outside while Claus is taken away from there. The next morning, Billy's parents come into her room asking if she wants to go with them to work so they can work together and complete the robots before Christmas. But the girl tells him that she can't do that because she promised that she will sleep over at her friend's house that day. And realizing that their daughter has finally managed to make a friend, the couple decides to let her go. Then, Billy's parents leave, and she lets Albert in to help them start to make their plan. Frank is still trying to find out where the gift factory is located elsewhere, but Claus' memory is failing him and he cannot answer any of Frank's questions. The businessman gets angry and ties the fake Santa Claus to his chair, but, as with all of the other traps set by the evil man, the handcuffs are not very strong and break. Realizing he won't be able to keep him locked up that way, Frank orders his drones to take the old man to the modified vehicle, saying he'll get them to the factory one way or another. Billy and her team locate Carl after making the necessary changes, and then find Claus and proceed to Frank's factory, where they attempt to sabotage one of the drones to gain access to the building. The issue is that the flying robot begins to run away to avoid being captured, and the girl runs after it, jumping towards it to try to stop it from running away. Shortly after, Albert and Leo use one of the city's banners to slow down the drone, preventing Billy from crashing into one of the buildings. The group now has the robot in their possession, and they devise a disguise for Carl and hide in a box so that the little robot can take them inside. They must navigate through a couple of security guards in the hallways, but somehow they get to the spot where Claus is being held, and they end up out of the duct because of the added weight. When Frank sees the intruders, he says that it's too late and that Santa has gone through the changes. Now he has toy parts on his body. Thanks to this, the villain manages to take control of the old man, turning him into a weapon to attack the group. Billy shouts at Leo and Albert to look after Claus, and she runs towards Frank to free the old man's body from his grip. So the elf begins to chase his boss, and in the chaos, the fake superhero gets hit in the head by the reindeer, restoring his memory. Leo is delighted when he realizes that Claus is back, but one of the drones hits the old man on the head, and he returns to his Super Claus ways. This means that the battle between the elf and Frank's drones is ongoing, and Claus' memory is being changed each time he is attacked by one of Frank's drones. Meanwhile, Carl and the businessman are followed by Billy, who knocks the businessman down and knocks his tablet out of his hand, causing him to fall off the platform as he attempts to retrieve it. She knows that the man is evil, but the girl attempts to help him, but he breaks free to take the tablet and falls into the toy-making machine. Then the group meets up with Claus and explains to him what had happened while the old man's memory was being distorted. After they have sorted things out, Billy bids goodbye to Leo and Claus and they go back to the factory, but at that moment, Frank appears, his body now twisted into a crazy Grumpus. The villain knocks the old man down, takes his high-tech watch and gives him the voice command to direct the Christmas vehicle to the factory. Furious, Billy tries to stop him, but Frank fires a freezing beam at her, and Carl throws himself in front of her to protect his best friend. This puts the girl in a panic, and when she sees the villain running off with her frozen friend, she says that they can't give up now. They have to save Carl and save Christmas. So Billy calls her parents to maintain the deception that she'll be spending the night at her so-called friend's house and asks Claus to help, who pretends to be the so-called friend's grandfather. The group meets at the young woman's parents' workshop while Frank arrives at the factory to take all the employees hostage and make some improvements to the old Christmas sleigh. The team is now equipped with the updated sleigh and new armor for their mission and heads for the North Pole, where they are shocked by the strength of the candy cane missiles fired at them by Grumpus. Claus quickly learns to use his piloting skills to attempt to avoid the projectiles, but the vehicle still gets hit, and they crash in the snow. The factory elves are heartened when they see the villain knock over the sleigh and all the people in it, and they tell him that they will never work for him again. But Frank had foreseen this and has his drones install mind control helmets on the little creatures' heads. Although they lose the sleigh, the group still makes their way on foot and arrive at the entrance of the factory where they take the helmets off two elves who had been stationed as guards outside the factory. At that moment, Albert runs away, and although they're confused as to why the reindeer did that, the team decides to head to the factory's underground area. As they arrive, the group immediately divides up to help the elves break out of the hypnotic state by getting the mind control helmets off as soon as possible. Shortly after, Albert appears with a group of Christmas reindeer and Billy is happy to learn that the animal hadn't abandoned them, but was simply seeking reinforcements for the mission. So, all gather to battle the drones of Frank's army, who flies into a rage when he sees the elves being freed from his control. When one of the elves is hit by Grumpus's freezing blast, the group rushes at him, removes some of his armor, and subdues him in a few seconds. Despite everything that has happened, Claus says that Frank still has a chance to join the good guys, and realizing that the old man is giving him a second chance, the villain mocks his kindness. Grumpus runs quickly to Leo and takes his snow gun, distracting the group long enough for him to get away in Claus' modified vehicle. Billy knows his best friend is still in the car, so he heads out to hunt down the enemy with Albert, and Santa tells Leo to keep an eye on the factory while he goes to help the girl. As the young woman approaches the car, Frank begins throwing toys at her, and one hits Albert, who decides to run away. So, Billy runs toward the car, and in order to foil the villain, she sabotages the car's wiring, doing him one better for what the coward did to her best friend. Frank throws one of the toys from his factory at the girl, who falls under the doll's hypnotic effect. Consequently, Billy starts to fall at a high speed, and at the same time Carl wakes up and is thrown out of the car by the businessman. Upon seeing his friend in free fall, the little robot sets out to rescue her, but air resistance stops him, and he breaks apart once again. But the pair are saved by Albert and Claus, who take them up into the sky safely. The group then encounters Frank, who is in a breakdown in the vehicle, which had started to malfunction because of Billy's sabotage. The man desperately calls out for the car to take him away, and to his plea, the car throws the businessman away and crashes into one of the mountains. This leaves Frank in the middle of the forest, where he is buried in the tree trunk he hit by snow. The group celebrates their victory and is ecstatic to find that Claus has doubled the efficiency of the toy factory with the drones that have been repurposed for good. Finally, Leo promises Billy that he'll take care of all the repairs Carl needs, and so they can continue with their Christmas preparations. Claus decides to take the young woman home. When Billy gets to the roof of her building, she says goodbye to Albert and Santa Claus and spends Christmas with her parents. As the couple opens their gifts, they find a remote control, and the girl asks them to press the button on the remote to turn on the TV. In doing so, the couple stumbles upon a news report of the city's newest robots that are bringing Christmas dinner meals to everyone. They know their daughter helped them complete the task, so they are very happy and excited to say that Billy has one more present, which seems to have been left by Super Claus and his faithful elf. Upon opening the box, Billy is surprised to find none other than Carl, who has been completely repaired by Leo, who contacts his friend along with Claus joking about their old disguises. At this moment, Leo shows him that he has one last last gift, and Carl shows the young girl the tickets to the Super Claus movie, making her very happy. Lastly, Billy goes out to see the movie with all her friends, who are happy that they saved Christmas Eve from Gumpus. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.